Imagine the scent of freshly baked cookies, a whiff of grandma's apple pie in the oven, or the volatile compounds emitted from the pine trees tickling your nostrils as you take a brisk winter walk. It can be easy to overlook the influence of odors on our mental and physical health, especially in comparison to the other senses. But imagine how boring life would be without them. Food, experiences, everything. So, with a greater amount of people recently experiencing the loss of smell due to recent worldly events, perhaps our nose is actually becoming a little more appreciated. I'm Dr. Sarah, and today I want to discuss with you how to relieve anxiety with essential oils using a case study, and specifically how this applies to using essential oils for mind-body applications. First of all, let's start with how smell and aromatics affect the mind and body. So just from that little imaginary experiment, you kind of already got a taste that our sense of smell provides us with a richer life experience. But science has demonstrated that the sense of our smell does even more. It has a profound impact on our memory, on our mood, and our biology. Furthermore, the volatile aromatic compounds of essential oils offer beneficial biochemical, physiological, and neurological effects. So this combination of aromatics with biochemistry makes essential oils the perfect combination for emotional and bodily health, and one of my favorite modalities to use with clients. Now, initially, I wrote this case study for Townsend Letter, and it's published in the October 2022 edition. What I did go over specifically is using essential oils to enhance treatment outcomes. I talked about 4 things to consider before applying essential oils in clinical practice, and then I actually went through the case study. So I want to kind of give you an overview of that now so you have an idea. So first of all, we now know that our sense of smell impacts our mood, our memory, and our emotional response. And we also know that when combined with the volatile compounds of essential oils, that aroma influence, as well as the biochemical, neurological, and physiological influence, can really impact our mind and our body. And the cool thing is that these multifaceted properties of essential oils can bridge the link between the mind and the body. And that makes them synergistic with a lot of integrative and conventional treatments because you're influencing your mindset, your mood, and your biology all at once. Various types of studies have even demonstrated essential oils' ability to modulate emotional patterns that promote mindfulness, which helps with all treatment outcomes. And it can even remove physiological blocks to healing, such as fear or something that might be kind of holding some back emotionally from creating a new reality of a fully healed individual, right? Some people actually have an identity with their old bodily symptoms or their old bodily kind of diagnosis or label, and moving forward through that and becoming someone different can provoke a lot of fear or anxiety for an individual. So I did go through previous articles in the Townsend Letter where I discussed cellular mechanistic pathways, emotional and cognitive processing effects, and functional applications. But here I want to kind of give you more of a concise example in more hands-on ways to effectively use essential oils in clinical practice. And this applies to consumers as well. Even if you're not a practitioner, to have this knowledge to give to your practitioner or to also have it for yourself, I think is important. So there's 4 things to consider when you're wanting to use essential oils therapeutically. Now, the first one is actually addressing the root cause. So we've all been there where we have a symptom and we chase it. We chase it with supplements, maybe we chase it with medications, we chase it with mind-body application, lifestyle interventions, and the symptom doesn't go away. In fact, we may even be experiencing more symptoms. And that's because we're not getting to the root or underlying cause of the problem. So this needs to be addressed first. A good naturopathic and functional medicine doctor will look for all of the underlying triggers and different areas of your life that might be contributing to the specific symptom or problem at hand. And this ensures that any underlying pathology is addressed before we're just trying to cover up the symptoms. And that can be important. The other thing is a practitioner in conjunction with general use of essential oils for health can offer some distinct advantage when you use essential oils in a therapeutic protocol with them. So first of all, let's say, for example, someone is feeling anxious and can't sleep. So they read that lavender can be a great oil for that. But if someone doesn't like the smell of lavender, that can be more jarring and actually produce the opposite effects that they're looking for. So you have to go with individual preference. The other thing is a doctor may realize that there's different causes of anxiety, and taking the patient's case history, they might notice that this person's underlying anxiety is based on a problem with focus and lack of energy. So it's not related to nervous system hyperarousal. In this scenario, when you're considering appropriate reasons for the lack of focus and lack of energy, such as hormonal, neurotransmitter, digestive issues, oxidative stress, mitochondrial function, and lifestyle factors, can also choose an essential oil that supplements this and does actually have evidence for helping with focus and energy, and that would be peppermint oil. So that's the kind of preciseness you can get when using essential oils clinically with someone who truly understands from a practitioner perspective all of the functions and how they interact in a systems-based model of the body. And for this reason too, I do offer low-cost essential oils consults for people that are already working with other practitioners. So you get that kind of integrated essential oil use into your wellness protocols as well that can complement what they are addressing in a systematic way. Now, so that's the first thing, is we want to look for the underlying issues to get the best benefits from essential oils and find the ones that work best for us. And that being said, we need to be aware of the biochemical individuality of the person as well as essential oils property. This means everybody has their own unique smell preferences, their unique biochemistry, and how their body takes up and uses each essential oil and the constituents in them, and a different microbiome, which is the bacteria that are in our bodies that help us break down certain metabolites, including of plants and foods and different things from the environment. So these all affect the outcomes of any intervention, not just essential oils. And based on an individual variability, some may do better with different essential oils, some may do better with different essential oil companies, some may do better with different essential oils in specific categories. So be mindful of this. And this actually helps the patient or the consumer using essential oil actually become more involved because they have to pay attention, right? They're not just kind of doing what a doctor tells them to do or a practitioner tells them what to do and then just leaving the results up to the universe. They're actually participating in their program. So we have the impact of getting to the root cause, of honoring biochemical individuality. And the third thing is to be mindful of the basics for safety, right? So overall, essential oils are extremely safe. Like if you compare medication side effects with essential oil issues, in which most of the side effects are from inappropriate usage or from overdosing, it's like infinitesimal, okay? So there's still some things to consider though. You do want to space them out in a few hours between medications, especially if those medications are supposed to be a certain level in your blood. So we think of like blood thinners or even blood pressure medications. You also want to dilute them because You don't want to get sensitization to specific oils. You also want to honor your skin microbiome. Okay, so generally I recommend about a 2 to 5% dilution, which ends up being about 2 to 4 drops in about a teaspoon of an organic carrier oil. You do want to use organic because essential oils drive compounds into the system. You don't want to drive petrochemicals and toxic byproducts from synthetic lotions into your system when you use essential oils. That can cause an irritation or rash at the least, okay? So use organic. You also want to do the proper dosage. So sometimes that 2 to 5% can be higher or lower. Sometimes people might choose to take them internally. So there is a link in the article with all the resources and references to what I'm discussing. And that link will provide you with another article I did for Townsend that goes into internal usage of essential oils and how to safely do that. Okay, so let's be mindful. Let's get to the root cause. Let's honor our unique biochemistry and let's realize that quality counts. All right, so many people think that if they get an organically labeled pure essential oil, that's good enough. Here's the problem with that. Those organic labels can be organic and that's great. Maybe they're less chemicals, but they're not standardized and they aren't assured third-party testing verifications for the active ingredients and the constituents of essential oils that can have a therapeutic wellness beneficial effect. So just like your supplements from a high quality integrative functional medicine practice will not be labeled organic because that's just assumed that they get their raw materials from something that is not doused with pesticides and herbicides. They're actually a step above that, right? They're third party tested, they've gone through quality control, they've done their homework. Essential oils are the same way. Do not stop with organic certification. Do not stop with a gas chromatography, a mass spectrometry that just kind of lists the different constituents. You want to know various aspects. And again, this means doing your homework and trusting your manufacturer. And unfortunately, there isn't an easy go-to on this. Many people have different opinions about the quality of essential oils. So again, there's resources in the article link as well as in my database on how to determine if your essential oils are of high quality. And you can, of course, ask different experts that have been using essential oils for a long period of time and how they know that the brands that they are using are of good quality if you want to get a little bit of a shortcut, okay? So that being said, we have quality, biochemical individuality, addressing the root cause, as well as proper dosage and safety, okay? Now let's talk about the case study. So I talked about in the case study using essential oils for a client who I named Annie, but that wasn't her real name for privacy reasons. And she came to me because she had unsuccessful attempts to alleviate her anxiety. She was actually using alcohol to calm herself down. Conventional medications only produce side effects. She wasn't sleeping. It was impacting her relationships, and she was basically overall miserable. So what I did in the case series is I uncovered the path that we went through with Annie, which included addressing certain traumas that she had in the past that she hadn't looked at that needed to be looked at. And I offered some holistic techniques and lifestyle modifications to help her cope with this, as well as she also did some therapy. I educated her on the importance of fostering self-care and building healthy relationships. If people are trying to do a lot on their own and run on self-sufficiency, and we need each other and we need that kind of support. It's actually good for our mental and our physical health and our heart especially. So that was important to address. Then I did some specific essential oil formulations that are individualized for Annie, keeping these factors in mind, the underlying root causes, right? So we addressed some of the trauma, we addressed some of the lifestyle issues. And then for Annie, I wanted to really calm down her nervous system. So I did use a combination that was going to help kind of that rest and digest process and kind of, build that up and decrease that kind of fight or flight part of the nervous system. And for that, I used a combination of lavender, orange, and ylang ylang. And that is a combination that's relaxing. Ylang ylang specifically supports the heart and the nervous system. Lavender is very calming. It has scientific evidence for use of anxiety in Germany. It's actually branded for that use as a medication. And then orange oil is uplifting. It's been shown to help with focus and have a lot of wellness benefits. And then I use a specific joyful blend, which does contain a blend of essential oils that I got from a specific company that I trust. It was a combination of bergamot, ylang ylang, rose, lemon, coriander, tangerine, jasmine, Roman chamomile, palmarosa, and rose flower oil. So there's rose geranium and rose flower. And these were all very important. Again, the synergy of all of these different oils together, I do not formulate because that's just a whole science in of itself. But the synergy of these compounds together actually build upon one another and can have a strong effect. So we use that for Annie because she needed some heart support, some self-love. Okay, and these were very uplifting and emotionally supportive essential oils, also balancing the mind, body, and hormones. Speaking of, we did find there was some testing done from Annie's previous physician, and we did find that she was low in B12. She had some hormonal issues, and she had some neurotransmitter issues that we needed to balance. So we also supplemented with things such as B12, some herbs such as bacopa and erythro, which are good for balancing the stress response. And we added another oil blend that was good for hormones, which was clary sage, geranium, and neroli. Now, again, if you want to get the specific details of that protocol, please do check out the resources and the references along with, there's even a link to that joyful blend to learn more about it if you're interested in that. What ended up happening with Annie is at 6 months, she had nourished her body and mind more fully. She had gained awareness of the mind-body connection. Her anxiety was going down. She had stopped drinking. She can still enjoy wine once in a while, but she's able to have one glass and stop. She discovered a side benefit that when she diffused this joyful blend, her whole family got happier. And her kids actually asked for her to diffuse it. It was a wonderful experience to watch. And with all of my clients, what I do is they come back for wellness visits once things are balanced. First it's every month, then it's like every 3 to 6 months every year. And we just tweak things because their body changes and they shouldn't be on the same protocol that they came in with, 6 months, 1 year down the line. It should be different as their body changes and life experience is different. So that is an example of how to use essential oils clinically and how to use it specifically for mind-body applications. And we honed in on anxiety. But again, you can take these principles and use it to any mental or emotional condition, as well as any physical condition as well. So I hope you found that helpful. I do offer, again, essential oil consults. I do offer free resources as well as classes on clinically using essential oils and mind-body applications. I have a great focus on hormones and digestion and mind-body mental health in my practice. That is because they're all connected and I love them all. So that's what a lot of the classes are based around. But again, you can apply this to a lot of different issues because most people don't just come rolling in with one condition, right? We are all connected. So I thank you for your time and your interest in learning about naturopathic functional medicine and about essential oils and how to improve your wellness and take some action so that you can feel healthier and wholer and live a more fuller life. I hope that you will take some self-care and explore some more about essential oils. And I look forward to hearing your feedback and getting responses about if you found this video helpful. Take good care.